Okay, there we go. Okay, so we started a new Perek tonight. Relatively fast daf, a whole lot easier than the last 3 blocks, that's for sure. Yeah, and of course, there's an Yonah Diyayim of Rosh Chodesh in today's daf. Today's daf has an Yonah Diyayim. Tomorrow's daf, as Hashem, has an Yonah Diyayim. Yeah, fine. So the Mishna says on Samach Avad Aleph by the Mishna, Kainim Yayin. If a guy makes a kainim, he makes a neder. Yaim Shani Kayim. He says, I'm making a neder that I'm not going to taste wine hayom today. Okay, so the different lashonos are going to make a big difference here. Right? He's saying that I'm not going to taste wine today. So when he says today, it means up until it gets dark, then the day's over. Right? Meaning the shaila is when a guy says he's not drinking wine today, does it mean a day, like 24-hour day? Like let's say he says it at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That means the day is over 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or does it mean just the rest of that day? So the Mishnah is saying it means just the rest of that day. Shabbos assur b'chol Shabbos. If he says this week, I'm not going to have wine this week, so he's assur that whole Shabbos, whatever's left during the week, the Shabbos she'avra. Right? Meaning Shabbos is part of the week that just passed. Meaning he's not allowed to have wine on that Shabbos either. Which means that the new week starts on a Sunday. Right? Again, a guy says he's not having wine this week, so he's going to be assur until Shabbos, including Shabbos. Chodesh zeh, if he says this month he's not having, assur b'chol chodesh, he's assur that entire month. Rosh Chodesh lahaba, but the Rosh Chodesh goes to the next one. Rosh Chodesh goes to the next month, which we're going to see on Amud base. Which day Rosh Chodesh, right? Today, which was Lamed, is today part. It says up Rosh Chodesh is considered the next month. So again, a guy says that he's not going to drink wine for the rest of the month, but we say until Rosh Chodesh, and Rosh Chodesh is considered part of the next month, right? Rosh Chodesh, which Rosh Chodesh, Aleph or Lamed, right? So we have to see. Shana Zu, if he says this year I'm not going to have wine, assur b'chol hashana, it's also the whole year, but Rosh Hashanah l'asur lavai. And Rosh Hashanah though is not, doesn't l'asur lavai normally be used as l'asur lavai, meaning after Mashiach comes. Here it means l'asur lavai in the Rosh Hashanah for the next year. Shvuah Zu, if he says shvuah, this shvuah again doesn't mean a week, it means a 7-year shmitta cycle. Also b'chol shvuah, he's also for the entire shmitta. The shvius she'avra, and shmitta, the 7th year, is part of that year, meaning the whole 7th year he can't have it either. Again, he says, I'm not having wine for the rest of this shmitta cycle. That shmitta is included in the year of Israel. Fine.
See, Yaakov, it just reminded me of the Rebbes who only eat kabraks if the year before was.
There's no other room in this house for him to play, just here. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Rebbes who only eat kabraks if it was an Ibiyah, like because otherwise they're short a day, whatever it is.
We're going to get to that. I'm actually going to get to that.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the Ibiyah. How does the Ibiyah calculate it for this? Yeah. And if he says one day, again, the first part of the Mishnah was hayom, right? This one is, he says yom echad, one day, Shabbos achas, 1 week, Chodesh echad, 1 month, Shana achas, 1 year, Shvuah echad, 1 shmitta cycle, assur miyom liyom. Then it's assur from, meaning it's a full 24 hours. Meaning, if it's a day, then if he says at 4 o'clock, then he can't drink wine until the next day, 4 o'clock. If he says it's a week, then he can't drink. Let's say he does it on a Motzei Shabbos at 6:30, so till next Motzei Shabbos 6:30. And the same thing again. If he says it in Yom Echad, Shabbos Achas, Shvuah Achas, all that, then it's a complete week. Ad Pesach, assur ad sheyagia. If it's until Pesach, then he says Ad Pesach. I'm not having this wine until Pesach. So then that's assur until Pesach comes. But once Pesach starts, then the neder for wine goes away. Achiyeh assur, achiyetze. he says until it's Pesach, meaning ad sheyehei, until it's Pesach, then it's assur ad sheyetze. Then it's assur until Pesach is over. Again, ad sheyagia is until Pesach reaches. That's a literal translation. So then Pesach's not included. Ad sheyehei is including Pesach. Ad lifnei ha-Pesach. Let's say he says until before Pesach. So that's a Machlokes. Rameir assur ad sheyagia. Rameir says he's only assur until Pesach comes. Rav Yossi assur ad sheyetze. Rav Yossi says no. When he says the words ad lifnei, he includes Pesach in it, and therefore it's he has to wait the whole Pesach. There's some take out the letter lamed, and it's ad pnei. Okay, so that's basically it's all again totally in his in what his terminology was. Fine. So going back on the first case in the Mishna, the Gemara discusses, and Gemara says, so he says, if I make a neder of yayin that I'm not going to taste it today, it goes until shkiah. Right? So kונם yayin shani toyim. Fine. So we said it goes till shkiah. Amar of Yirmi says a big chumrah. He said, you don't just get to drink wine at shkiah, right? You got a guy at 2:00 in the afternoon says, I'm not drinking today. So we're saying that means until shkiah. Fine. So you think, okay, at shkiah he could take a drink. No, Rav Yirmiyah says he's got to go to a rabbi. The rabbi has to be matir his neder. If the rabbi is not matir his neder, then he's not allowed to have wine. Why? Right? The neder's over. Right? So my timer, what's the reason? So on the last line, Amar of Yosef, gezeira hayoim mishum yom echad. Because we're making a gezeira for today because of yom echad. Because what we say in the end of the Mishnah, the Sefer said that if a guy says yom echad, then he has to wait 24 hours, right? Again, using our example, it's 4:00 and he says, I'm not having wine anymore today. Shkiah is at 6:00. So he's also for 2 hours. But if he says, I'm not having wine for the day, then he's also till 4:00 the next day. So Rav Yirmiyah was worried, at least with the way the Gemara thinks now, Rav Yirmiyah was worried that if you're going to allow him to just drink wine at 6:00 today, then he's going to mix it up even when he says a neder for the entire day, which means he can't have it till 4:00 tomorrow. So we're afraid he's going to end up having it that night too. Again, why would the layman understand the difference between saying I'm not having wine today or I'm not having wine for one day? It's a very fine difference. So we're afraid he's going to mix it up. So therefore, we say when he says I'm not having wine today, he gets to drink the wine after shkiah, but he has to go to a rabbi to be matir the neder, so that I guess the rabbi will explain to him the difference and why in this neder he could eat it, he could drink at shkiah, and the other neder he can't. All right, so on Talmud base. So they said back to him, so why don't you make the gezeira the other way too? Right? Meaning, not the other way, but when a guy makes a neder, it's 4:00 in the afternoon, he makes a neder, he's not drinking wine for a day. So that means he can't drink wine till 4:00 the next day. So why don't we make him make a neder, not a neder, make matir neder at 4:00 in order to drink wine, because maybe he's gonna in the other scenario where a guy says, "Oh, I could drink wine today," he's gonna think at 4:00 I could stop drinking, I could start drinking wine. Meaning, why don't you make the gezeira the other way too? Right? So the Gemara answers, saying the word today with one day, somebody will get mixed up. But yom echad behayim loy michlaf. One day will not be mixed up with today. Right? Meaning, I mean, I don't understand the Havamina really, because the teretz I think is pashut, which always gets me scared. If I think a teretz is pashut, it means I think I don't understand not the kasha, not the teretz. Okay, but I'm saying it's pashut. Why would you mix it up? Meaning, if you made a neder today till today, so we say, okay, you got mixed up. You might get mixed up with somebody saying, I'm making a neder for a day. But if a guy says I'm making a neder for a day, why would you think that he's going to get mixed up with tonight? Why should his neder not at least carry him till shkiah? Okay, but that's what we're saying. You might get it mixed up that way. Amar Ravina, Amar Marema, Hachri, Amar Abu Shmitta Rav Yosef. Kaman Hazla Shmitta de Yimri Arba. Who was Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba going like? Meaning Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba is the one that said that this guy who makes a neder not to drink wine until shkiah. Who said a guy who makes a neder not to drink wine today after shkiah cannot start drinking after shkiah until he's matir neder. It's Ram Nasan. He also like Ram Nasan, the Tani Ram Nasan. Whoever makes a neder is as if he built a bama, right? Which is a bama you're not allowed to. A bama is those were the temporary mizbechas that they had in the midbar that they were allowed to bring their own korbanos on, but you're not allowed to have them once there's a mishkan and this mikdash. But and if somebody who's makayim is neder, meaning he actually keeps to it, is as if he actually brought a carbon, right? So this guy who made a neder, let's say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that he's not drinking wine for the rest of the day, we're not so happy with him that he made a neder and that he kept his neder, right? Because the neder's over. Meaning normally a guy makes a neder and it doesn't have a time-bound thing. So we're going to tell him, be matir your neder, because the rabbis don't want you to make neder. Here, he has 2 hours left to the neder. Why should I bother going to the rabbi? It'll just expire in 2 hours when the day's over. So we were not happy with him. So therefore, that's why we meant that you should be matir the neder. Just abi, because you're not supposed to be making neder, right? We don't want people doing these things. Fine. Then the Gemara says the next case in the Mishnah was Shabbos zu. So if a guy makes a neder against not to drink wine for that whole Shabbos, he's even assur he's assur until after Shabbos, meaning till Motzei Shabbos, he can't have wine. So the Gemara says pshita, it's pashut, right? I mean, why shouldn't Shabbos is the last day of the week? Why shouldn't Shabbos be included? No, the same the Shabbos. What he meant was the days of the week, meaning he meant weekdays. I'm not having wine during weekdays of this week. So obviously Shabbos is not considered weekday. Shabbos is considered Shabbos. So therefore it's not included. Kamash Malon. So it tells us that it is included, right? And therefore he's not allowed to have on Shabbos either. Fine. If he says this month, now this is mamash negeya to today, not exactly today, but anytime you have 2 days Rosh Chodesh. But the terminology of the Gemara is a little confusing. So he says this month. He says I'm not having wine for this month. He's assur until Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh though is the future, and meaning he does not have to stop drinking on Rosh Chodesh. I'm sorry. He could start drinking on Rosh Chodesh. Now using this example. Rosh Chodesh was today, Shabbos, right? So l'chayr, if he says, I'm not drinking wine the rest of this month, he should not have been able to drink wine this past Shabbos. Today was Lamed, tomorrow is Aleph, tonight's Aleph. Today was Lamed. He should l'chayr not be able to drink wine. That's part of this month. So the Mishnah says, no, Rosh Chodesh is considered Rosh Chodesh. And it says pshita, it's pashut, right? Now the Gemara l'chayra thinks that it's talking about a chodesh chaser. So when you have Rosh Chodesh, normally we have 2 days Rosh Chodesh. So not normally. When you have 1 day Rosh Chodesh, that's Aleph. So that you understand, it's a new month. But this month, it's Rosh Chodesh is on Lamed. So the Gemara must be thinking that's pashut. But when it's only 1 day Rosh Chodesh, pashut that he could drink wine on Rosh Chodesh. The month expired. So when it says no, ki yitzrich l'chodesh chasa, we need it where the month that he's in is, well, it's a little confusing because the Gemara just doesn't call it a chodesh malei. I don't know why it just doesn't say that. Maybe because it's nedarim, right? But it says it's a chodesh chasa, right? Now which chodesh is chasa, right? Meaning the next month is a chodesh chasa. Right? So, I'm sorry. This month is a chodesh chasa, and the next month will be malei. So, the same Rosh Chodesh l'sha'avar havi v'lo litza. You could think that Rosh Chodesh goes towards the month before, and it should be under the neder. People just call it Rosh Chodesh. So since it's called Rosh Chodesh, even though it's lamed, it still does not count. And so this to me is a wild chiddush, right? Meaning he's saying we call it Rosh Chodesh, right? Bottom line is we call today Rosh Chodesh, right? We said Yalav Yava, and everybody says Rosh Chodesh. So in people's eyes, in people's mentality, the truth is you go ask people, and I'm sure many, many people think that today was Aleph. those that don't say the Tehillim of the day, right? Oh, it's Rosh Chodesh Teves. So say we're no longer in Kislev. Well, no, yes, you are in Kislev. We're still in Kislev, right? I mean, now we're not, right? We're almost done already.
I think that could be the only one with dysfunctional family lighting.
Yeah. So anyway, Gershon just walked in. So meaning the Chiddush is that people when they call Rosh Chodesh, they call it Rosh Chodesh. So in their eyes, I don't know if it means in their eyes it's Aleph, but they call it Rosh Chodesh, so everybody thinks it's already the next month, which I think is true. You know, people think it's Rosh Chodesh, it's the next month, even though it's not the next month, right? So that's what the Chiddush is.
It is Rosh Chodesh.
What?
It is Rosh Chodesh.
It's Rosh Chodesh, but it's really not Rosh Chodesh.
So why are you saying Hallel with a bracha for?
Because it's because of the Sveik of the Yom. No, it's not really Sveik of the Yom, because of the suffix that was way back when. Same reason why we keep 2 days Yom Tov, right? We didn't know which day is it. We didn't know which day it was, but Be'etzem, it's still part of the previous month. So that's what the Gemara is telling us. You would have thought it's not. You would have thought that it's not. Kamash Malan that it is. Now there's an interesting nafkamina with this. Is, you know, Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, everybody gets nervous, Rabbi Yehuda Chassid, right? So taking haircuts on Rosh Chodesh, for those that are makbid. Haircuts Rosh Chodesh, cutting the nails on Rosh Chodesh, right? So there are poskim that say that Rabbi Yehuda Chassid said when he meant Rosh Chodesh, he meant Aleph, not Lamed, right? See, it's totally in the same thing that the Gemara is discussing here. When Rabbi Yehuda Chassid said Rosh Chodesh, did he mean Aleph of the Chodesh? Right, we don't know what he meant anyways. It's heebie-jeebie, as they call it. What's the problem with taking a haircut on Rosh Chodesh, right? So, but did he mean Rosh Chodesh? Or most players can think he meant both, like this Gemara is saying, right? It means Lamed and Aleph, right? But there are some that say that he meant Aleph, and that's it. Lamed is really okay, right? That's what?
Funny thing is that he's all heebie-jeebie, and he's a Yeki.
yeah. Right, true. But what else? There was another example in my head with this. Oh, except there is one Rosh Chodesh that is Taka Aleph. That's Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, there's no Lamed. Right? Rosh Hashanah has an Aleph and a base. A whole different story. And then there's another one interesting for Vestas, for neder, right? So we know that when a woman, I don't know if you know, we don't know, but a woman when she has her cycle, so the next month on the same Hebrew day of the month, she has to separate, right? Let's say she gets a period on Yud. So the next month on Yud, she has to be chayshah that she's getting her period, right? What happens if a woman sees on Lamed, right? She's a grand prize winner. She sees 1 month Lamed, and usually it alternates months. So 1 month there's a Lamed, the next month there's no Lamed, right? So now what's the din? She what's her vest? There's no Lamed next month. It goes straight to Aleph. So do we say that she has a vest for Rosh Chodesh? Because Lamaisa, Lamed was Rosh Chodesh. Or do we say, no, she's scot-free, right? You have those that say she's scot-free, those that say she should keep Chavtes, and there are those that say she should keep Aleph, right?
Aleph she never keeps.
What? If she may have to keep Aleph anyways, but not if, let's say, she always gets it after. So anyway, so that's another interesting thing between Lamed and between Aleph. So bottom line is that the Chiddush is here is that we go, because the Nedarim is based on people's terminology. So he said, I'm not eating wine for the rest of this month. So then right when Rosh Chodesh hits, because people perceive the first day of Rosh Chodesh as the next month, so therefore the neder is over. Because again, Nedarim is based on people's perception. Right? Fine. Okay. Shana zu assur b'chol hashana kula. Right. So this year, right? So the guy says, I'm not eating wine for the rest of this year. Is also the whole year. So boilahu. Right. So they had a shaila. Amar koinem yayin shani toim yoim mai. If he says, I'm making a neder that I'm not tasting wine for a day. Right. So what's the din? Dine ke hayoim. Is it like hayoim? And therefore he has just today till shkiah, or is it like he has a full day, which is 24 hours? Again, he says, Shani time yoim. Is his day like Ki Hayom, which is just till that day's shkiah, or is it for 24 hours? Tashema Mamtinin Memasnisin. We learned from our Mishnah, Koinem Yayin, Shani Toim Hayom. If a guy makes a neder against yayin that he's going to taste it today, Ein assur ela ad shetechsha. He's only assur till shetechsha.
Where are you?
5 lines up from the bottom of Amud Beis. Samach Amud Beis, 5 lines up from the bottom. Yeah, so Toshimam Masnisin, Koinem Yayin, Shani Toim Hayom. If he says, I'm making another yayin that I tasted today, Ein assur ela ad shetechsha. He's only assur till it gets dark. Hayom, ki yom echad. It's mashma that if he would have just said yom, it's like one day. Okay, so in the sefer, so you have the opposite right from the sefer, because the sefer says Omar yom echad. If he says one day, assur mi yom li yom, he's assur from day to day, meaning for 24 hours. Hayom. If he would have just said yom, ki hayom dami, it's like hayom, and he would just wait until shkiah. So we can't bring a raya from there. There's no raya to be brought from there. All right, so we have no raya. So again, we're just stuck with the shaila of yom. What is the din of yom? Okay, well, it's the middle of the sugya, but we'll stop here. Tomorrow's stuff's not so long.
We're doing regular time tomorrow?
I'm not sure what you want to do. I don't know. Do people have Hanukkah parties in the afternoon or later, or no Hanukkah parties?
We have afternoon, but that's me.
The afternoon before Adlaka.
Yeah, 12 o'clock.
Wow, you're almost as from as my wife's family. We were having 11:30 in Lakewood.
We're from her. It's a Hertzberg. It's a Hertzberg party. They try to get away, not doing lunch, dinner. You know what I mean? They try to save a couple
they want to make sure everybody ate breakfast and didn't eat lunch.
Having it in between,
exactly.
In between.
Yeah, I'll let her learn tomorrow.
Oh, I forgot. We're not allowed to learn.
Oh, it's saying good.
Little no.
Isn't that tonight?
Yeah, well, I guess we're too late.
Yeah, it's not tomorrow. It's tonight.
Like the Mishna. It's both nights.
No, the legit day is what day? What is it about? January
24th.
January 6th, my
January
birthday.
6th is
My
the real day.
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, your birthday, right?
Now-
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Well, anyways, yes,
Okay, so
learn.
then regular time as usual work then, I guess.
Let's call it for regular time. Yeah, let's go for regular time. Yeah. Okay. A good Woche and a lichtig in Hanukkah and a Freilich in Hanukkah. Naftali, you can now light your menorah.
I lit by 6 o'clock. It was my kids that I have to wait for. I have to sing by the store.
There you go. All right.
Yep, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, not my
Tomorrow,
birthday
right?
anymore.
Tomorrow.
Well, I guess
What
in
do you mean?
English it's still my birthday. In English it's still my birthday.
6 days.
Isn't it 25th of December your birthday? Tomorrow?
24th indeed.
24th. I didn't wish you happy birthday the whole day. I thought it was tomorrow.
Ah, yeah. I tell you,
tell
you
you.
turn back the clock.
Naftali.
Naftali, next year you're gonna have to do it twice.
I'm not.
You
Byron
can't
is
find,
slacking off.
you can't find good help these days.
But see, they said the Savior was born at this time. They were just wrong about the person.
Oh. Very good. Jack, it's nice to have Ikevik on a month of
When you became a Chabatskas, Jesse, what happened?
Wait, let me go sit on my hat.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to go answer some questions about letting everybody know where they
Where they should
light. Where they
I'm
should-
not going home till midnight. Where should I light tonight?
Exactly. Oh, that's basically.
What? That's the Shiloh's time, no?
Well, no, one of them was that she cut her baby's nails and it flew away and she's pregnant and she's a little nervous. So
No, so what'd you tell her?
I said it's all right.
They flew away. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. I said I told you should have brought your baby outside in 0 degrees and cut him outside.
What did you think you, Yaakov, what did you think you were telling her to do? Knock down the house? What did you think you were
No. Tiptoe.
What?
What did you think you were telling her to do? Destroy, demo the house?
Yeah, you sweep or whatever, but it's yeah. Anyways, all right.
Aaron, there's reason you're president and not Rav of the shul.
I know, because I would have way too much fun, Rabara, no? Rabara, the truth is, I told Yaakov a while ago that we should take care of his phone one night, and we should get popcorn for the oilam, and we would have a blast. Jacob, that sounds like a nittel nacht activity right there.
I might have a nittel nacht activity. I might go to Hadlakas Neris and Satmar at 9:30 tonight, maybe.
Ooh.
We'll see.
You're gonna go?
I don't know yet. I have to see. My kids are not so happy. They just want the ice cream part.
Are you going to Williamsburg? Not Monroe.
What?
Going to
No,
Williamsburg.
he's in Williamsburg. He's in Williamsburg.
Oh, he's in Williamsburg?
The Monroe one is in Williamsburg?
Yes.
And is the Williamsburg one in Monroe or he's in Williamsburg?
I have no idea. I don't keep track of them. It just
No,
happens
this way they
to-
could have a fight. They could try to have a good, have a nice fist fight.
Tiago, you know
Cold
the kid who
telephone.
got in trouble for tracking Elon Musk's plane on Twitter. You should do the same thing for the Rebbes. That's the.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We went to Rebbe beat tonight. Elio, it's much easier. You could just follow the Cadillacs.
That's I hear.
Right? It's much easier. You have to follow
I
the
hear.
Escalade. Follow the Cadillac Escalade. You find. You can see where the Rebbe is. Amara, no, it's much easier.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Truthfully, I think a few of them actually have unofficial Twitter accounts. They do announce things.
But
Oh,
Sabra
that's
has
that's
one.
yeah.
Samar has, yeah.
It's not unofficial, it's official.
Oh, I don't. Okay, I didn't know if it's.
Yeah. All right.
All right, good luck.
All right. Good talk, everybody.
All right.
Good.